too crazy, Sancho. It's too crazy right now in game number 6 for EU. Sweaty Sands, where we start off this time. No O'Reilly of a deal. And reason, I mean, they had a little bit of a rocky start, but so far Europe has just been everything from aggressive, passive to smart to some crazy all-in plays.
I mean, we got it all. I mean, if this was a streaming service, you got comedies, you got romance, you got horror, you got action, you got all types of entertainment that's happening here on Valentine's Day for the FNCS. This is the opening day, essentially, that we have here for all our competitors. This is coming down to round 4. I mean, all of our competitors have been competing. This is the first day of the broadcast, and it's been so awesome to bring this up, but this is just the beginning for our broadcast. Later on, we're gonna have NA East and NA West, so don't you go anywhere. Lock it in. Make sure you get all your snacks for the day. And hey, maybe you have someone special to share this day. I already have someone special to share these runs with Shio Wedge. But Shio, you kind of nailed it on the head. It's like so many teams are trying to get into the top 10, but this is just the strangest kind of form of competitive play that we haven't seen. And maybe we're seeing a new form of Fortnite evolving right in front of us. And meta, who knows?
Who knows? Because honestly, looking and feeling out personally yourself, traveling to these POIs and playing aggressive is one thing. At the same time, we're talking about Valentine's Day. Might need to find Miro a mermaid or something. This man, 2 games in a row, fish extravaganza, 24/7, winning, like, or not 2 games in a row, 2 games overall. Like, the heal games are on point, but as are these aggressive box dives. It's like the best of both worlds. But at the same time, some of the plays that are being made, right? You can just slightly questionable in execution. It could also be the worst of both worlds.
And this is going to be a huge engagement right now. We talked about Red Rush being on the outside looking in, needing like at least a top 3 finish here. Currently about 6 places outside of that top 10. Again, top 10 gets into the semifinal stage, and this is what everyone's been competing for the rest of the time. There's no prize money right now on the line. None of that. This is all about getting into that next level. So that way you can work yourself into the finals that's going to be happening at the end of this FNCS. So Red Rush, we got to, the old school, FNCS squads, right? We've been talking about the entire time. All these different EU players, they all know each other. They all work together. They all play together. They all practice together. They've all exchanged a lot of battles together. But now, it's all coming down to this right here, right now, at least for today.
Yep, Snappy versus Red Rush. As Sancho mentioned, former teammates, and now looking to qual. This is going to be a fight that we know is not going to really get disengaged from. Only happened once in game number 3, but once again, it's been all in after all in EU at these early job spots. Snazy, Analex, and X Squeeze really haven't been affected at Caddy Corner, really haven't looked for many early game fights, but they do get kind of caught up in the times while they're rotating. Apparently after that last game, they're also looking nice in second place, 151 points. It's up to them if they really want to strive for first and just keep working on their playstyle overall. Good practice though, Sancho. One of the things that people always, I feel like it's one of the hardest things to do is overtake the team ahead of you on the final game. There's not much practice for that type of pressure, that type of situation. So this is a vital game pretty much for people at the top, both holding their spots and also trying to take over.
It's so interesting you bring that up because Analex and X-Squeeze, alongside with Janice in the last FNCS trios, were part of that. They were doing their best to chase down Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson, who had a huge lead going into that final day of the FNCS trios on the EU side. They were unable to catch up to them. They had like about 3 games to just get close the gap by 5 points, and they just fell short. But this team right now is falling short. They're 26th place right now. So much. They got a lot of work to do to get into that top 10 of Zappy, Toos, and Putrick. They're having just one of those days where things are just not working out. And we always talked about here in the EU side of things that it's anybody's day. But hey, their ride could start right here. But Putrick gets a big shot in the back, and you're seeing the complexity of fighting in these warehouses. And just like that, out he goes. But hey, able to survive. His teammate was right there to help out Zappy, Putrick, and to survive for a moment. But this is another team that's been very aggressive coming out of that Hydro, and they knew, they see the leaderboard, that E-Lane board lighting up. They have an opportunity in the third party, and here we go. Hey, you thought you're right. You have to keep fighting here, Toos and Zappy. You have to keep it up.
Yeah, many different things for the winners of that fight as well. This does mean that Red Rush, unfortunately, will not qualify this time around. 16th place is where he's kind of frozen into. It's unfortunate, but that last game, Red Rush was the one who did come out on top from what I saw overall, or was close to. And every time Red Rush has survived and Lazen pushed in, it was kind of passive. Now with Zappy surviving, and Lazen pushing in. There's a little bit more aggression, so a completely different playing field for both teams. Question is, what does the Lazen want from this? I'm guessing just kind of the surge tags.
No.
Possibly a chance to even remove a team that could be close to them to qualifying as well.
Yeah, I think that's it. They get the elims. I mean, they're currently sitting in third place, and now we're jumping all over the map. We're all gonna have eyes on the leaderboard as much as possible to let you know what's going down, as what teams are doing their best to sneak on in. This is their last time, the last opportunity here. This is the 6th match here. And we're just taking a look at this team is currently sitting with 33 points there. They definitely need a high finish, just like we're watching a 2 Sputchik and Zappy. They're in the same boat, the same situation. And I'm just surprised that, you know, Skite and Falconly haven't been able to make some noise today here, Shayo.
Yeah, Falconly's been taken down early game by many different trios on aggressive pushes like this, but both these guys are sitting right beside each other on 19th and 21st place. They both need to hit top 10. They're so far away. They need to get end game, but they're not even going to be able to see the mid game right now because they're fighting early Robaps. In a duo kind of spot with Skite, not going to find much success there at all from the box, being pressured. Raze has popped a Pepper as well, so he's moving fast to get this pinch started.
And they have to hurry up because a real pinch is about to happen. That's coming from Analyx Trio. Look at the mini map. It is those lime green. Lime is coming in hot, and that squeeze is going to be real from them. And that is the kind of rotation they like to make. They like to make sure that they're fully matted up. They got every non-box possible, and they late rotate into Lazy Lake. And they're going to be a strong opportunity. There it is. There comes some shots coming in from that trio. And we're going to keep an eye on the elim board. But here's another trio that it's kind of interesting, right? Vidil versus Kinzel here. I know Kinzel this is where they land. This is where they go to Coral Cancel. But Vidil and O'Reilly coming out of Sweaty Sands are trying to move up the leaderboard a little bit. They're on the backside of the board.
Yeah, this is like kind of the sun versus the moon, black versus white in terms of like the way these guys play the game. Wakey's trio in total is the most consistent. You don't even need the leaderboard stat to understand it. You've been watching the broadcast, you've seen these guys alive and on screen, either low, on high, or in mid game 24/7. Whereas we saw Noah Riley, Vidil, and Reason just pushing things after Sweaty Sands, just like Savages at Salty Towers, over and over again. It's a story of aggression versus some of the most passive play that we've seen today. And right now, passive is winning all the way inside that top 5. They're 5th place currently, Kinzel. And then we see Noah Riley on the other side of things with Vidil. These guys are sitting in 20th. So clearly trying to grasp at straws that are too far to reach on their trio side. Meanwhile, over at Salty Stronghold, Tastin's back rapid all the way around Sancho. Game 1, they pushed this. And now in game 6, they're back to say hello.
And we saw Miro with the flopper play, but hey, flops are not going to be able to help you to survive this storm that is Tasting Savage and eye dropping. Maybe they took it personally to see someone eat so many fish for a victory royale, but down goes Savage actually, and down goes eye drop. The reverse card is real. Swag and Snap able to survive a crazy push and they get rewarded. Look at the power weapons they get off of that win, and look at it. More trios are coming in to sniff around, and that is Jasper and Lunev coming out from that little Kids Cantina to get into that match. But we still have more action happening out here, the Colossal Coliseum, and let's see if Bad Sniper could win this one right here, because Bad Sniper is just looking for it to take away some momentum from this day, just to say, hey, this strategy works. Let's see what we can do. I mean, 8 points for the day is not what they were looking forward to. We saw that they were in in Salty Towers early in the day. As we see that Savages goes down in the feed. We saw them earlier in the day at Salty Towers. Now they're just looking for a drop shop home. Maybe gonna find an opportunity to say, at least we could build off of this, because right now the Salty Towers drops did not work for them at all.
Hey, there's a chance all across the board, right? Like Tayson kind of has the fate of Savage and eye drop in his hands. And at the same time, right now, Bad Sniper could get like a 26 elim win, right?
Right? Hey, you never know.
You know,
maybe.
It's possible to get, you know, from 8 points to a qual in the last game. I would say highly likely not, though. So let's not try to put all our chips on that table.
Well, yeah, you get high, you send beams down, 2 elims per point. The point is like they have time for next time around, the next qualifiers that happen. 100%. So you're going to have a week to go into. All our competitors have competing this entire weekend to get here. So a lot of hours if people get to this point. So Bad Sniper is still in an elite EU trio alongside with Laxus and Tripper, but we all talked about it every given day. Sometimes it's just not your day. Sometimes a team's going to be at your drop spot, and a big point that we haven't really hit on, Shio, is that the top 10, they don't compete again. That's it. They're locked in. They're not going to come back. They're not going to be in another drop spot. So that might leave an opportunity for another trio to step in, or a trio that's already competed today to get into dance.
So then let's talk about the top 10 a little bit and what you guys should be watching for this game and after this game as well. Currently right now, if we tune into any trio, it could be Mirza, it could be Slove, it could be anyone around the map like Skyzoo as well, Pablo Wingu. If anyone is above around 35 points, 33 points, they have a chance if they win this game to hit the top 10. So 64 for Slove, they're actually tied for 10th and 11th against ETQ and Pablo Wingu and down. So these guys are actually on the brink of not being in top 10. They're trying to defend not only a tiebreaker and get ahead, but the rest of the lobby for hitting top 10. So definitely in contention. Past that as well, Sancho is 100% correct in saying the top 10 will not play next week. Look at the players who are coming 11th all the way to 20th. Those are the top trios to watch in the next week. What room they have to kind of take over the top 10. Obviously, you know, the next highest rank will be the best people to watch next game. Peacock, Alpha, and Blaster always kind of, you know, going up against Savage. Don't have to actually take that fight this time in the mid game. 52 points, Sancho. They're only about 12 behind from the top 10.
And there's not a lot of weeks to kind of get into a top 10 situation. So that's why you got to be careful. That strategy of procrastinating your way in is a dangerous strat. And yeah, you might actually get booted down into that reboot round. That's going to be very chaotic and very crazy, where only the Victory Royale gets in. That's what's on the line going forward. And that's what we have in store for you, for all the people at home or wherever you're watching. Thank you for tuning in as who's that sniper? Hey, you started ramping up, right? He gets an elim. This might be already
25 more.
Lock it in. Lock it in, child.
That's what we like to see right now, though. Ooh, a crucial elimination for Slove, Mirza, and Sick. These guys now break the tiebreaker. 66 points overall. Still in 10th place. So need to do more and need to survive. Sancho, we saw Levin, Reese, and Zeke break down the format earlier as well. It's all about the placement end game that'll really give these guys points.
Yeah, and then in the end game, they did hold on to hype when we had that finish to Sweaty Sands. It just seemed like if they were able just to be a little bit more aggressive as a bounce pad, doesn't quite work out for them. But here we go, Shio.
Oh, at the same time, they're aggressive here too. The cool thing you mentioned about that hype play that they have in the previous game, just like right now, they play passively. They play to survive. If they're doing that this game, I guarantee they hold on to that top 10.
Ooh.
Unless a different team near them gets those beams down, unless something goes wrong. And Pusic and Toos are here now from the south side of Slippery Swamp all the way up north to Stealthy Stronghold. Slip around the S's a little bit, change the words up. At the same time, still, never mind, I'm completely wrong. We're in Weeping Woods. The trees confuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself, Sancho. Hold me back.
Lost in the woods, man. It happens all around. Is hey, you need a compass. You got to get that going forward.
You know what it is? It's just every team for some reason has been in Stealthy today. Why is that? Why throw it off for me, man? You know, I was having a good. It was good. We were perfect so far.
Yeah,
we're up there.
Sometimes you know, forest jungle's all the same. You know, it all kind of misses out the terrain. But what is interesting to see is now Deceptos goes down, and finally that passive team that you were talking about of Kinzel, the most consistent team that we've seen throughout the entire day, actually gets taken down by the Deal, Reason, and Noah Riley. Maybe they leave their PS postscript here to this letter that is madness that's been crazy throughout the entire day and says, hey, don't forget about us. We may not qual this time around, but we're going to put up a monster game to let the rest of the region know that we still have a strong shot to be the FNCS Trio champion.
Absolutely. With 40 points, they definitely have a shot at it, but they're going to have to go for the win. Not just aggressive play from the Deal side. It'll have to be smart after a certain point in the game, after a certain little time slot shifts over, and we're into that end-ish game atmosphere. Jaspe as well, Sancho, is on the edge.
It feels so interesting to see an actual threshold in a set lobby. We already watch leaderboards and all the third parties. As you see Snazzy actually getting a big hit on Mr. Savage right there, but the whole point I want to say is like it's like a living threshold that we're watching develop right in front of our eyes. That top 10 threshold as Sniper, dude, okay, he's there. He has 7 elims. Okay, Shio, you may. Yeah, I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did.
25 and a win, and they can qual. It will be the story that I think would be the coolest possible, but at the same time, I'll say for the third time, I don't think it's gonna happen, even though we went from 0 to 7.
We're getting
but
there.
I'm getting nervous. I'm getting a little bit nervous.
I don't. You might have to go out and get yourself a lotto ticket if that actually rings true, man. If that actually rings true. I mean, we have seen double-digit elims, victory royales here, and that is why Hen, Giannis, and Chapix are sitting on top of the board. But Bad Sniper is moving up the board, and now you're seeing another finish that's going to be around Salty Towers. The first match that we have here in this round 4 had a Salty Towers finish, but it went north. This time we're gonna get a lot of sandy fish. I got the flip-flops back on, I got the sunscreen back on, I got the Ray-Bans back on, and I'm here to see it. And let's see who, at the same time though, I really feel like a sand tunneling rotation could be, it's not the wave. I mean, I don't really like it.
It's not, yeah. No, because there's so much interruptions in the way, you know, in terms of like builds, different houses, streets, you can't really sand tunnel over.
Yes.
At the same time as well, we were just looked at that top 5. The top 5 right now are kind of in their own echelon of gameplay, kind of in their own wave and atmosphere of how they're approaching this game. They literally look like how they would look while they're playing grand finals. That's Hen's trio. We have Analex on there too, Kaizen, Lizen, and Wyzip, Snap, Miro, and then Kinzel as well. But I feel like we'll all qualify. We're going for a vacation in the sand, Sancho. They'll get a vacation straight over to what's it called? The heat stage as well, the semifinals. So
semifinals.
These guys will have a very good time there. They're looking really good in gameplay today. Big props to them. Yeah.
Oh yeah. First class all the way, and that's the kind of way you want to get into the semifinals. You don't want to be gifted through series points. You don't want to squeak your way through. But we haven't seen the players who do squeak their way through. Actually, our wild card round of Rojo's trio able to get to a top 10 finish in the FNCS. So hey, long as you get invited to the dance, you may have a good time. As Hen gets a nice sniper on Janice and Chapix. So now Hen is going to be cooking up. This is one of been a premier player in the EU region. A lot of people have been picking them a dark horse for a moment in time, but now he is no longer a dark horse. He is a front runner to take it all, and right now sitting on top of the board looking really good and finding himself a newly formed trio. I feel like Hen was one of those guys that jumped between different duos. He was kind of like a filler, and it looks like he may have found that home and a very solid trio going forward. But the action is still building up because this is the final round here as we see this trio of Great Demon Shakos trying to get the harpoon. But the lobby says not so fast, and the max pool is gonna be dangerous for this entire side, and that means Nico's Blasters and Alpha's trio are gonna be very dangerous for being lobby focused. But maybe Sen may save them right now, Shayo.
Absolutely. The big thing as well to note is that although all these guys might have their invites overall towards the next stage of the competition, everyone else right now who's below kind of 90 points is in trouble. They might not have a guaranteed slot held for them on the next stage of competition. It'll be very difficult. Even the top tier right now is getting pressured, Sancho. It'll be crazy to see who is ending up in the best spots for this end game. Right now, there's also just 2 trios kind of inside that safe circle as well. So we'll see how they move overall.
Yeah, and this is huge for Pablo's trio right now. They're on the outside. They were tied for that 10th place. They went into this match with 64 points. They're only getting 2 points, and they're going to run right into first place. So this is going to be a dangerous situation for this trio who are fighting for all they can to get into that top 10 already. Giannis's trio is already locked in. They are first place. But look at Pablo on the bottom of your screen making this sand rotation. You just see Downs right there running to that water. And when you run into that water, you get knocked out of that animation. And Downs and ETQ and Pablo are fighting for their top 10 lives for a moment because already there's so many trios that are right behind them. So Pablo, hold on, brother, as much as possible because it's going to come down to this right here, right now to survive that rotation. It looks like they did, Shayo.
Absolutely, they did, but just by the skin of their teeth. Once again, these guys are the ones who were on that tiebreaker slot. Queasy, though, rolling in with Rax, so they're also looking in a little bit of trouble. Top 7 right now, 89 points up against 67 for Pablo Wingu, and now they've collided. Nothing's guaranteed for either trio so far.
I was going to say, Shayo, they actually have front of zone right here, right now. So this is a good opportunity for them. They invested a little bit on this rotation. The sand tunneling did actually help preserve Matt. So if they want to, they could play for height, but at the same time, if you're going to play for height, you know you're going to be contested. And at this moment, if I were them, I'm not sure if you want to run that risk because it's placements that's going to get you in the top 10. As you already see a team right over them, they could kind of slow them down as now the zone 6 is moving. So here we go.
We're looking at a top 10 right on the bubble perspective. From Pablo, ETQ, and Downs. On height is Frey, who's 60 points away from being, or almost 50, from trying to qualify as well on maximum ultimate height. On the right, though, you see some of your top teams who will be punishing the rest of the players in the lobby. Snazy taking some action right back at him. Janice, though, looking so well on this rotation with Hen and Chapix. That player's name is Uguay74. We're looking at the rest of the zone, though, on the left side of your screen. Let's focus on the developments right now. Vidil, Reason have height. The trio that were nowhere near being close to qualification, who just had 40 points, now have a chance to be in the top 10. Mariah right below as well is not in the threshold. Bad Sniper is way far away from the threshold. Every name you're seeing on the left side is not guaranteed besides just a few select players. And they're all trying right now to survive the absolute onslaught in mid-ground. The top team's taken out, though. Frozen at 181 points. But they had such a good showing today. The question is, who are the other teams who are going to be inside the top 10?
Now, Hen, this is just for kind of making a statement here. Hen now is going to go solo, but we're all going to keep an eyes on the leaderboard as much as possible. Keep an eye as ETQ does pick up an Elim in the feed. Noah and Reason and Vidil, they could make this crazy push, but because of these catacombs, they're not finding any of the same kind of beams that we saw other teams on height, like Hen was, racking in so many Elims. I'm looking around as much as possible to see ETQ and Pablo is down to still up. They're still looking good. They're on the outside, making a little outer rotation here to the front side of the zone. They're staying away from the center. That right side hold may be enough to get them as much as possible, but they have to watch out as Bad Sniper is in the focus of the beams as Whiteside picks up Miro. Noah Riley, Vidil, they could do this, but they need to get Elims to match their placement that they will get.
They need to speed up fast right now. 56, I don't feel like it's enough. They're about 15 to 20 points behind. Unless they win this game, that might be the qualification for him. Wisep, though, already qualified 146 points. It really elevated him, and Kaizen are trying for a little mini victory lap, but the tires actually go flat on the track there for them. They're going to go down shortly. Noah Riley, Reason, and Vidil are still alive and online up in height. Kaizen is looking for the clutch. 5 Elims so far. He's pushing the rest of the top 10 down. They need to take him out. He's now frozen at 147. Okay, let's see. Noah Riley and Reason still on height. Vidil goes down for a few mats, reconnects, splits up as well. So these guys have extra resources to play their games. Wood builds down below Sancho. This is very good for beams. There they are. Noah Riley tapping heads like it's his day job, and it's time to get paid in points, hopefully. There we go. 68 points for Noah Riley. The Harpoon getting a few more mats. That Sniper still alive, trying to make the dream happen. And Frey's there too. Every team we're watching right now is trying to qual. None of them have a guarantee in the top spot. The results will be from their actions in this last zone, Sancho West.
Absolutely, and Noah, Vidil, and Reason could punch their way in right here, right now, as they have another trio down below. And the big beams and big hits, the big shots. Vidil, Reason backing up with the beams, and Noah Riley is now going in right into the mess as much as possible. They have 70 points right now. Down goes Reyes, who was in the 60s. Bad Sniper goes down. Noah Riley and Vidil, Reason are coming from the back of the pack to get themselves into that top 10 seed as much as possible. Now it's all about textbook, as Noah Riley going in with attack, getting some big hits and left side. Yes, Vidil, Reason, and